Oh, hi there. This is Dan, Grip It and Rip It. Wanted to talk about my KTM 500. Here we are. We got a microphone here and a microphone here. Sup, Dan with Grip It and Rip It. You guys might know me from wearing my Hawaiian jersey at some of the Hare and Hound races. One of the few people that tries to record the entire race because I'm weird, and when I work from home I like to sit and just watch the whole freaking thing over. And the more I've learned is that other people like to do that as well, and people that miss the races like to see the whole thing. Kind of weirdly obsessed with online YouTube dirt bike content and can't get enough of people talking about their builds, their bikes, their experiences. And I was like, hey, I should do one on my bike. Before we talk about all the parts on this, let's talk about where this bike came from. There's a really good rider named Daryl who had this bike built by Jack at Mad Jack Racing. They did a freaking awesome job building it, and he raced it in the Big Bear Hardways race, I think 3 times, and I believe podiumed all 3 times. I might be making that up and creating lore, but as far as I'm concerned, that happened. Saw it posted on Instagram, showed my wife. I was like, check this thing out. This is like fully built out awesomeness. He's selling it. I kind of sort of know him. I know Jack at the shop. Maybe we can get a good deal. We know it's coming from a good place. I know it's been ridden, but I don't mind that because I know it's been taken care of. Showed her that at like midnight, and then we never talked about that bike for like 2 weeks. I had a big trip coming up at Bishop with the Ventura County Motorcycle Club, and at the time all I had was my Honda XR 400, which I love. I had done 1 Hare and Hound on it. It's a great experience. First time trying to lap 2. Absolutely sucked trying to kickstart it up just really hard hills when you're just totally gassed. So anyways, between my wife and our neighbor, good friend, they coerced together to purchase this bike. And then my wife, who's incredible, obviously knew that the first thing I would want is tires and to moose it. So before I even got it, she had it brought over to Jack's. He put new tires on it, moosed it. They delivered it to my buddy's house. And then my buddy texts me and he's like, hey, come over and check out my new bike that I got for Bishop. And I was like, okay. So I head over there. This bike's there. And I was like, you got Daryl's bike. That's awesome. I didn't get it. I literally thought he got Daryl's bike. And I was just stoked for him. And then he handed me the title, and at first I was like, did you get me? And then I looked at my wife, and I was like, shut up, you got me this bike. Needless to say, my wife's amazing. She got me this bike basically on her birthday, so our new joke is, what do we buy each other on our own birthdays? So on my birthday, I get her something. On her birthday, she gets me something. It's how we do things, but I was able to get this before a giant trip. I was able to appreciate and use an e-start, which was just lovely when you're up in the mountains, putting in a lot of miles, and that's where she started. All right, now, my first dirt bike was Honda XR 400. Absolutely love that bike. Great learning bike. Super smooth, huge kickstart because it's like 12 down to 7 o'clock. It's not a little 2-stroke kickstart. It's big. So you really learn how to kickstart something like that and maintain a carb and all that goodness. From there, I went to the complete other spectrum. I got a KTM 300 built by Jack as well, which was just to the nines, incredible, but definitely way out of my skill level. But it was still a great bike to learn on. It made me a better rider, mainly because the bike was so good. But one of the things that I struggled with was just throttle control, because it had so much power. And for me, just absolutely sucking at riding, I did a lap 1 Hare and Hound, my first Hare and Hound on the 300. And man, the amount of times I just got a handful of throttle in going slow through whoops was more times than I'd like to count, and was super scary. Again, I suck at riding. I'm not great. You know, had probably only ridden for like 4 or 5 times prior to my first race, maybe. And going to the 300, it was like, fuck, is this throttle thing going to be something I'm going to get used to? I mean, I've been racing cars for a long time, so I was like, all right, I will get used to this, but it will take some time. But I love the e-start coming from the Honda. Having an e-start super quick, just on, was lovely. The bike was great, and it was really just the skill level that I didn't have, the skill level I was at, not having any skill, that really kind of hindered my enjoyment of the bike. I sent the bike in to get a big tank on it, and then the XR400 was the only thing I had to race my first attempt of a lap 2. And I was like, man, I feel like I'm riding better, because I like how much smoother the throttle is on a 4-stroke, let alone on an XR400. It's just so great, so easy to ride. So I was kind of like rethinking how much I liked the 300, and having ridden both of those bikes, this 500 was kind of like the perfect middle ground. It definitely has the same power as like a 300 2-stroke. It's obviously distributed differently. It has the nice e-start from the 300, which I really liked, but it was also super smooth like the XR400. One of the hardest things for me to get used to moving to this bike coming from the 300 was flameouts. So what I didn't realize was you could really lug a 300 2-stroke low, just bop, 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 and it would not die, and it would find revs and just dig you out of whatever little or large rock you're going over, and it just worked. Moving to the 500, over the littlest stuff or the smallest hills on these hare and hound races, it would just flame out on me, and I was like, shit, this is super annoying. I like have momentum, but it's just not able to hang on below, like, let's call it 700 RPMs. So that was a big adjustment. It took me longer than I would have liked to get used to that, and it was really just me needing to ride a little more aggressively and kick a gear down and just not try and do everything in third and fourth. It's like, go down into second if you need to and get the revs up. Had a lot of comments on videos like, I can hear your motor like spinning. It's at such a low RPM. It's just like bop, 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 and then of course it would flame out. Just had nothing there. So that took a while to get used to. All right, let's talk about what I like about this bike. Just hands down love. The build quality of this 500 coming from Jack at Mad Jack Racing is just, it's so good. And I had a list of mods that Daryl had done to it by Jack, but really, like, surface level, I understood the value of what was done, but like re-looking at bikes on Facebook Marketplace and kind of looking at what stuff would cost to do it like from scratch, it's like, shit, there's a way more into this than I would have expected. And just the quality of the parts, the quality of the technical work to put it all together and make sure it's good and triple QC everything is just you're very aware of it, because this bike has just not had problems. I had one issue behind the front number plate where like a little plug got disconnected and the bike wouldn't start, but other than that, this bike has just been so good. Really like the suspension on it. I've never been on something that had like any kind of tuned suspension before, so that was nice. But it's weird because it honestly just reminded me more of the XR400. I liked how tall the XR was. Some people don't like that are shorter, but I liked it because it just felt like it was made to just suck up more whoops. And this bike actually looked shorter than the XR, but still managed to suck everything up kind of the same way. So with that, the rideability of it has just been really good. And I really like the dexterity of the bike and the bike's ability to putt around with my son on his 110 or on his 50 at the time. And like you can cruise around at second gear and not feel like crap. I don't know if this bike can go under 15 miles an hour. Like, it does really well at going slow, and then of course on the races it does very well at going fast. And see so many videos of these dudes doing 100 miles an hour on those finky Australian races, and they're all on 500s, and it's just kind of nuts that these bikes are so capable on such a large spectrum. I've dumped this bike so many times, both to help somebody and because I suck at riding, and it just, boom, starts right back up. I kind of can't believe that the starter hasn't given out on me. Barb has been a good girl, and I like her. She really has just not disappointed me. And sort of brings me to what I hate about this bike. And what I hate about this bike doesn't really have anything to do with the bike itself. It's more me. I think the problem is, for me with this bike, is everything's already done to it. I don't need to do anything to it. And not that I necessarily like to physically tinker with things, but I like having my own flair on stuff, obviously with these gorgeous Hawaiian graphics and my Hawaiian jersey that you usually see me wearing. So that's sort of frustrating. And it's a weird dichotomy of, I am so happy and grateful for having this bike set up the way it is, but I'm sure some of you can appreciate that it is fun to kind of do some things yourself and do some things a little differently or whatever. So I think that's where my qualm with this bike is, that I love it so much that I sort of dislike how good it is, because now I'm like, well, now what? Am I just supposed to ride this thing and that's it? So what's really strange is my constant interest in getting another air-cooled Honda. Side note, I work for myself, so business goes up and down. So for me, a lot of times I'm selling and reacquiring toys that I've had to sell when business is slow, one being Rhonda the Honda and the 300. But we got the 500 now, and it does everything. I'm so happy with it, but now I'm like, man, I kind of want something that's difficult to ride. Do I get an XR650? I could. I've contemplated turning this bike into, something that holds luggage for trying to tent camp with it and do those bigger, longer rides, and then sort of leave it that way and then get something more dedicated to hare and hounds. The problem is my increased interest in getting an air-cooled Honda sort of reverses the ease of everything, because in theory I'd have this bike with an e-start ready for casual rides, and I'd have the Honda, which arguably is more difficult to kickstart or start, and using that for races seems kind of silly, but for whatever reason I'm becoming more attracted to that idea just because it's something different. Again, my problem, because I clearly I'm so happy with this, I'm unhappy with it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I freaking love this bike. It's so good. Love the seat on it, love the suspension, it sounds good, the brakes are good, it's just good. It's so good. And whenever anybody asks me what kind of bike should I look into getting, I'm like, I kind of don't have a problem recommending anyone to use a 500 unless they're not physically tall or big enough to ride it, because you can ride it slow. It's not like an Evo 9 with a giant turbo on it where it's only got 2 speeds. It's 3 miles an hour and 150. This bike you can do everything with. So it's kind of just it's not just the best all-rounder, it's very good at everything. One of the things that I felt was the biggest improvement on this that helped with the flameouts was doing 1 tooth less counter sprocket. That with a combination of fresh tires, since I had the same tires for a whole year, man, this bike absolutely crushed the lower speed stuff that I was normally getting flameouts on. Instead of dying in third gear was perfect. So highly recommend just a countershaft sprocket on it. Did a whole lot. I've definitely broken the clutch lever a couple of times, so now and the brake lever, so now I just keep it shorter. So it's they're both broken, and I just kind of keep them broken, and I've got wraparound guards, and now it's fine. So the last thing I want to talk about this bike is, again, I've said I like it so much that it's hard for me to figure out what I want it to become. Does it stay the perfect backup bike? Do I make this the the dedicated Hare and Hound bike and build something else for the long trips, I've got this weird hankering to do a Baja race. Again, I suck at racing, but I have this weird, I don't know if it's like, what is it, masochism, where it's not like trying to punish myself, but I enjoy doing the hard stuff, even if I know I'm going to fail. Like for a long time, lap 2s on a Hare and Hound. There are still lap 2s that I haven't finished, and I have no problem DNFing them because for me the goal is to be able to get home safely. So like I don't have a problem doing that. I kind of have the same mentality when it comes to doing a Baja race. I'm like, I'd love to do at least half of the shortest one and just try it. Like just get out there and do it. I'm not, you'll hear me say this in a lot of my race videos, but it's like I'm not there to win. I'm there to do it and have the experience. And for me, it's my personality. I'm like, the more I do it, the faster I'll get. I'm not trying to do it the first time and podium. I think that's one of the key factors that has kept me from getting injured from all the racing I've been doing. Again, it will take longer for me to get faster and better, but I mean, I got 3 kids and a wife and a house and dogs and shit to take care of, so I would like to be able to load my own bike up in the truck and get home and show my kids that this is something they can do and have fun and not just see risk and injury. So with this bike, I'm like, man, could be cool to put a bigger tank on it and do Baja. It would be very capable, very easy to do. I wouldn't have to think twice about it. But then I also kind of want to just make it different. Why? I don't know. It's a weird problem with me, but I love this bike. It's super, super good. Let's talk about some of the stuff that's on it. Sup. Warp 9 wheels. A Chirby skid plate. Really nice suspension with these fork wrappy dealy bobs. Toe strap. Baja Designs light. Sicra Pro Guard. Wraparounds, which are, for me, again, I love them because I suck at riding. Big old full FMF exhaust. Went from the radiator guards that everyone uses, whatever those are called, back to these because I think some of the mounts were breaking and getting unthreaded. But I am going to do, or I already have it. Of course, I don't even remember the name, so I'm doing a very good job at this video. But it's a full radiator guard that's one piece that goes from one side to the other. Very excited. Everybody say hi to Violet. This is Violet. Oh, hey there. Seat concept seat. Vortec ECU on the inside. A Chirby's 3.2 gallon tank. Man, I'm one of those people that always wants the biggest possible tank possible. I did the 4 whatever gallon tank on my 300 and it was huge. I loved it though, but I got so many comments from my friends about looking like an idiot. But I've been weirdly wanting to do one on this bike just because that's who I am. Again, that's sort of the conversation about what do we want this bike to become? Do we want it to be lighter, heavier? What is the freaking plan here? Again, this suspension is so good. Who is it from? I'm not really sure. But it is quite fantastic. It probably says on the side. Yeah, Schmidt. Sweet. Really happy with the Dunlop AT82s, and I think it's an 81 in the front. There are just lots of little bits on this bike that Jack did that made it really fantastic. And again, I'm frustrated because I didn't get to do any of them. Somebody else did it, but then because somebody else did it, I got it for a lot less money than whatever they paid to do it. So that's great. But weirdly, I wanted to do it myself. Everything on it is just really good. Like there are some stock pieces on here that just work really, really well. The stock brakes are great. I'm pretty sure all these rotors and stuff have been upgraded. Very excited. On the other side of this block, other side of the engine, we're going to do the Takamoto mother of all oil filters. Took me like 15 weeks to get 2 of them, one for my bike, one for my wife's 450. Really nice chain, really nice rear sprocket on this guy. Just super stinking great. And I'm sure you're sick of me not actually knowing what I'm talking about, but just really wanted to make a video on this bike because I love videos about people talking about their shit that they ride. It's just great. I really like this bike. It's got the Scott's parabolic steering dampener on it. It's got the mount for Trail Tech Voyager, which I'd like to do, and then of course I'm doing way too much research on, do I get the Garmin? Do I get the Trail Tech? I don't know. You guys tell me. And then I'm like, do I need that if this is a Hare and Hound bike? I don't know. Do I do a rally tower? Do I do more lights? Do I do more shit on it? I want to, but then I also don't want to look like a goofball at a Hare and Hound race. And then I might if I'm on an XR650, which I don't care. I'm also already wearing a Hawaiian jersey, so I guess I should just sort of stick to doing what I want to do and just not give a shit what anybody else thinks. I think that's the theme. Love this bike. Love racing it. Love riding it. It's treated me really well. If anyone is looking for a recommendation on a bike, I cannot recommend enough just a KTM 500. It's just freaking awesome. And it's street legal. Like, it's just, for being in California, it's fantastic because for some of the places that you would need a green sticker, it just works. Obviously, this thing's been desmogged and runs even better because of that and the tune. But for now, it's just a good bike. I love it. Thank you guys for tuning in. That's what I got for you. I like this bike, but I also hate that I like it so much. Thanks for watching. Sup it up.